Meeting order. Let's do a roll call. Mr. Burris, Mr. Pope,
Present.
Mr. Lucas, Mr. Barnard,
Present.
Chairman's here. Okay, if y'all would, I've asked the chief if he would lead us in prayer before we start the meeting.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all your blessings, Lord. We thank you for this community and each one that serves in this community. We pray today, Lord, that everything that we say and do be pleasing to you. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Let's pledge allegiance.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We have any guest speaker? We got one, Mr. Bennett. If you would come up and explain it.
I'm here today on this, talk to y'all about the internet. We're trying to, constitutional officer, trying to set up a different internet system. And we talked with Scott, and we've been working with our IT man, Charles Dial. And he's been working on some things, trying to get the county set up under .gov instead of .com, and which it should have been done years ago, and trying to get all this lined up, and we're wanting to let him explain to you about what we're doing and why we need this change to get out from under the old system and update our system where we're secure and where we have the equipment we need to work. And I'll let Mr. Charles Dow come up here,
Okay.
and he'll explain this stuff to you.
All right.
All right, so we started this journey with the county about a year ago. We had a meeting, you remember when it was, Scott, about this time last year?
It was close to a year, yeah, something
It's
like
been
that.
about a year.
Yeah.
So we've been in the process of trying to figure out the total needs for the county. Y'all were pretty similar in size to Coffee County. So we were trying to get an infrastructure in place similar to what's been deployed there, to try to give interoperability between all the departments, especially on the public safety side. Right now, all the departments are pretty much a little isolated and segregated, so they're having to use media to transfer files back and forth. No really, nothing really to tie them all together. And we were trying to make it more efficient for all the offices and to bring them together. And security today has been a big portion of it. And also too, to be able to work with retention or data retention policies that's really not in place with the county today. So we were trying to bring all this in and trying to get a uniform system for y'all across the board. So in the big picture, we were just trying to, all the offices, the county offices, the judges reached out to us directly because they were having some internal issues with the IT, is that correct? Not getting the support that they needed. I know that they had basically just one person in IT, is that correct, Scott?
Yeah.
And one person trying to maintain an infrastructure this size is hard. I've got a whole team of people, Jennifer can contest to that, in Coffee County. It's not a one-man show to manage something this big. But you've got to do it, effective, efficient, effective. It is costly up front to get it to where it needs to be, but once you get it there, it's pretty much, you don't have to touch it. Other than the day-to-day stuff from the end users. Your end users is your biggest headache. And security is a big portion of this because of all the ransomware attacks and everything that's happened just recently. So that's a big role in what we were trying to do for the county. There were some things that we were needing up front to get like direct costs for y'all. We were needing fiber paths and a couple other things that we had requested early on. I never fully got the cut sheet, so I couldn't give pricing across the board. So I think at this point, we're still to that. We've got to find a place, if we're planning on moving forward with the project, to get a full cost of it, because we can't without having every little piece of the equation. If we do, then we can move forward with costing it. Otherwise, for the judges, they're wanting, if we can't go that route, they're wanting to go to be separated, which is another cost involved. That means new internet connections coming in, new equipment, new isolation points, for the public safety side. So our goal is to get everything under one house, so you have centralized point. So, under open records, you could go to each individual group or have a centralized person that could grab the data without having to reach out to 30 different departments to try to get what they need. And that's a big thing. I know, like right now, for instance, an example, your email, how far can they go back with the email from a retention schedule?
Not very far.
Not very far. Well, unfortunately, that's outside of the scope, for the Open Records Act, you gotta have that. All the files that are here that gets deleted on a daily basis, how do you retrieve those files? All that plays into what needs to happen into a county government today. And there's a lot more. I mean, that's just the top of the iceberg of what actually has to take place on a daily basis. I get hit daily with requests, open records requests, from video retention to emails to documents that's been deleted to, people need to be able to restore files that was accidentally deleted. It's sometimes, even for us as a team, it's overwhelming. So, and we have to do it from the public safety all the way into the local government. And that's what we were trying to do, is trying to uniform all that together for everybody in all the departments to make it easy. The problem is, if we do it in a whole, the cost is greater in a whole than it is if we do it as individual pieces. So if you start breaking it out individual departments and doing it and trying to manage it, your cost almost doubles or triples instead of having it under one managed solution. And also the cost of having local IT staff versus contracted support because of having a larger team to work with. Up front, the initial cost to get everything up and running as is it's pretty substantial. But then once you get everybody in place, a year or two down the road, then your IT support cost drops drastically. I think last year Coffee's was around 20 or 30,000.
Yeah.
Roughly for their support for the whole year. But that does not include like projects. Now projects is different than maintenance. So there's two different things.
So over in Coffee County, do you have the whole county, all IT through the whole county?
We do the whole county in the end.
So they don't have their own IT department,
No.
Coffee County?
They do not. It would take a staff of people to run that county. You couldn't do it with just one person. So it takes, literally I have 5 people that runs around Coffee County and various forms of levels just to maintain that infrastructure. From network engineers to server people to cabling people to PC repair. It's just, it's just on and on. Our biggest headache still today is the sheriff's office. It always is.
Who's gonna be moved over into that? Just y'all?
Well,
County.
originally we were looking at the whole county. That was the initial discussion. And then somewhere down the line that changed, and I don't know when that changed. I was just made aware of it a couple of weeks ago. So after we done put a lot of work into getting it to where it needed to be.
Okay, we're gonna change the whole thing over there.
Right.
That was discussed,
the
that was
original-
discussed to
what it was.
change it, yeah.
Have you got a ballpark figure what it would cost for your company to take over our IT department, a budget per year?
I do not at this time, because there's still a bunch of information that is not, that we don't have, that needs to be collected. Once we're able to get that, then yes, we can give, somewhat numbers and analysis based on what we've done in previous cities and counties.
Do you know what off the top of your head, the total amount that coffee pays by chance?
It fluctuates, depends, but it's averaging around, I think around 30 to 40 a year. Just for the maintenance side.
Just
Now,
maintenance?
Just maintenance.
Yeah.
Project work's different.
Okay.
Like, if you go in and swap out a whole batch of PCs, that's different, that's not maintenance, that's project work.
Yeah.
So, or you change out servers and stuff like that, that's project work. Maintenance is just the everyday PC broke, password resets, stuff like that.
What do you think it would cost the county to switch over to you?
There's some infrastructure stuff that has to be put into place. The infrastructure here is not 100% up to par to be managed. So there's a lot of stuff that's gonna have to be put into place. I think part of the servers, I don't think those servers have been moved. They're still in that old building, correct?
They moved them from
They
what
did
I've been
move
told. To my old white building?
Yeah, so they're out of there completely.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So that was one of the things that we were looking at, because that building was falling apart. I think the day that me and Scott in there, it had where the servers were, it had about 1 inch or 2 inches of water in the floor.
You talking about the courthouse?
No, in the,
The old central services building.
Oh, okay.
so that was one of the goals, was to get that out of there. Also too, and this is just a scenario, for instance, if this admin building burned and that server room was destroyed, what do y'all have? That's the next question. Where's your data? How do you continue to function?
Well, that's like anywhere. If your house burned down, all your money's in the bank, what you gonna have?
Well, and that's the difference. In Coffee County, and this is just an example of what they did, there's a set of servers at the courthouse, and there's a set of servers at, the sheriff's office, and they're fully redundant from each other. So it doesn't matter if you take the sheriff's office out or the courthouse out, they're still 100% operational.
So you'll be able to store everything from the courthouse at the sheriff's office if you had to? I mean,
Absolutely, I
the
can
stuff
run,
swaps back and to?
they're fully redundant of each other, that is correct. Yeah, so if side A goes down, side B picks up and rolls. And that's one of the things, and we were trying to get an idea of where the fiber was, is because to put all that in place, I have to have interconnectivity between all these offices. And to be able to allow those offices to communicate back and forth with both locations. Does it necessarily all have to be at the sheriff's office? No, it does not. You can break it up into putting part of it here, you can put part of it at the 911 center, you can put part of it at the sheriff's office. We just chose the sheriff's office and the courthouse at Coffee because those were the two most secure places that we had to put the equipment. If they, in this next SPLOST, if they do build the new 911 center, the equipment that's at the sheriff's office will come out and be moved to the new 911 center.
Just clarify that, that's Coffee County, right?
That's
Ware
Coffee.
County's not fixing to build a 911.
No. I'm just saying that to show you how the systems are built to withstand disasters and stuff like that. And the reason we ended up moving a lot of that stuff, their 911 center has very little equipment in it anymore. We done that for a particular reason because it's right beside the railroad tracks. In case of they have to bail out because of a natural disaster, or just think of an ammonia spill beside the railroad track, and they have to vacate. I can send them to the sheriff's office and pick up and still continue to take 911 calls. So they have a higher level of redundancy built into their environment for disaster. So that's kind of where I was going at for y'all, is to try to give y'all some of that same structure here to help in case of a disaster.
I have a procedural question to the attorneys. As far as I know, unless I missed some meetings, we haven't discussed the need for this. And apparently the constitutional officers have gone out on their own and asked this gentleman to come make a presentation. Where would we stand as a commission? Would they pay for it out of their budget? Have we gotta come up with money to do this? I mean, this is the first time I've heard this.
Well, I might defer to the manager a little bit on that, because it sounded like there was at least some meeting last year with him on this topic. So I'm not aware of what exactly.
Yeah, it was more of a casual meeting where they were just introducing the idea of separating the two constitutional officers from administration. And that was kind of how it started down the road. And Charles was going to come in and assess, try to figure out what it would take, how much money and so forth, because it typically would just come right out of their budget, but we'd have to make sure we have that amount appropriated.
So all
I
the
doubt they would
arrangements
have it
and
now, but
installation and all would be handled by the constitutional officers? And there was.
we'd be totally
completely
separate
from
yes,
this?
totally separate.
So they would not go out for RFPs on other vendors, or they just?
Well, that's a legal question. I don't know for a service like that, I don't know that you could do it from the standpoint of asking for proposals to do it, but then
Looks like
again, in
somebody would have to
IT,
come up with
Charles could say
specs
this, you just don't want
and say, "This is
anybody
what
coming
we need."
here.
No,
Yeah.
that's the problem with this stuff. I mean, when you're dealing with public safety, I mean, you gotta have somebody that knows public safety, for and foremost. And, there's not that many people that understand public safety when you start tying all this stuff in, from jail to the judge's offices, to the magistrate, to the DA, to the superior courts. I mean, all this stuff has to be tied in and secured. And that's one of the big things. The vendors you have to have your vetted vendors you have to be on the vetted vendors list for the state to be able to do some of this work. So there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes that, most people don't see or realize. And, and being able to be interoperable is huge. Another example, for instance, the 911 center. Y'all's 911 center is totally isolated from everybody else. It's not that way in a lot of the newer deployments. The 911 center is the key to everything. I mean, they can see the cars in the fields, to having law enforcement if something was to happen. Even with the city, they're all on the same system. So you got all your cities, all your counties, your fire trucks, your EMS, everybody's in the same playing field, and you're not here. So if something happens, how do you address that from a public safety perspective? What if an officer gets shot? How do you respond? Do you call out on the radio and hope they get there, and you have no idea where he's at? Or do you have a fully automated system that when that happens, 911 can actually dispatch all the people, and they can see every vehicle that's out there and how to get to them, or where that incident occurred? So there's a lot to it that's not, that being broke up kind of hinders what y'all can do. And your public I feel like would benefit from a uniform system across the board, and everybody would be interoperable, which is not the case today. And that's what we were trying to work on, is to make everything interoperable. So
The proposal we had on the last sales tax, the system that would tie all the, public safety people together. What did it?
That was a radio system. That was
To get everybody on the same. page.
that was strictly the radio system with the new towers and such.
was that a Motorola?
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I believe so.
That was P25.
Yeah.
Kenwood, wasn't it?
That was on the radio system?
Yeah.
On
It was, I think the last,
sales tax?
yeah, I think that was the 3.6 million that they were gonna
Yeah.
take, because they were gonna have to put new towers up
Yeah.
throughout the county, and Yep.
And that's just one piece of it, of the public safety. Yeah. Which is a critical piece, but that's just one piece of it.
And we'd have to do all that and to get this new system, or not.
No, that has nothing to do,
It
the
don't.
radio's independent, the radio is, that's a P25 radio system, so it runs digital trunking and all that's self-contained right by itself. And you wanna keep it that way, you don't wanna interrupt, you don't want it, to take a chance of it getting compromised, so
Yeah,
you leave it to where it's at.
leave it over.
Yeah, once you build it, you don't, it's pretty locked down,
Yeah.
so. And I'm very familiar with that system, so.
Okay. Anything else?
What kind of budget do we have for our IT department now?
I think right off the top of my head, it varies now because we've split up some of the software into the different departments so we could tell, the budget load for each department. But off the top of my head, I don't know that number now, but I can find out.
Yeah, and see, that's separate from what we do.
Right.
I mean, the software, you have to have the software maintenance still today. So all that, you can't get away from. You have to have the support from the vendors. So that's something that's critical to everything. And that same way it goes down to the hardware. All hardware that's put in, it has its lifespan. And typically 5 years, it has to be pulled and replaced. So, and that's where we try to keep it. Workstations, PCs, their lifespan's roughly 3 years. When typically once the Dell warranty runs out, we pull them. So we try to set up life cycles for the machines and you replace so many every year. Instead of trying to build them all at one time, where it gets expensive. So, don't have any other?
Got anything else? Yeah.
So would the constitutional officers come back to the attorney and the manager with a proposal and ask the board to put money in their budgets to do this?
Right, yeah, and that's more of the, not to use that cliche, but the $64,000 question, because if we don't know what it's gonna cost, we don't know how to amend their budget, especially this coming up year. If we're, I don't think we wanna guess at it, because we won't know what the extra cost you'd have, yeah.
We can't guess
Yeah.
that, we gotta get pretty,
Yeah,
I mean, we can put, a 25% cushion in there, but we've gotta get pretty close.
and that's what I'm saying, if we could figure out maybe like for Coffee County, what they do, because it's almost a similar size, then we can compare it and figure out about what it would charge, what they cost us.
Well, I guess what we need to do then, just let them come up with a price. And,
But you would also have hardware costs on the front end.
Yeah. So
That's
there's
gonna be on top of
so
that.
There's hardware costs in front of it because the current infrastructure in place, a lot of that's dated. A lot of that needs to come out and be replaced. And I will tell you, with COVID, the pricing that we looked at 3 years ago when we completely rebuilt the coffee infrastructure has gone up probably 40 to 50%. So, I mean, and a prime example, a regular computer monitor that you used to buy for $100 is now $200. So those costs have come up drastically across, it's across the board. And lead times is another thing. So if y'all tell me y'all pulled the trigger on it today, Ware County 911, we ordered their equipment back, last October, and we're just now getting it in. So that's something else we have to take into consideration is lead times.
yeah.
But we'll work with Scott and them on getting, to try to get the best pricing we can. If we are, the biggest thing I need to know is, are we gonna separate it or are we not gonna separate it? Because it completely changes the dynamics of how the system has to be built. And the question to y'all is how much redundancy do y'all want you know, my question, or the question that I have brought up, and I keep using coffee because they're similar sizes, y'all. You know, they wanted 5 nines of uptime, they wanted 0 downtime in their infrastructure. Since we put it in 3.5 years ago, their downtime has been 0. And that's across the board, that's public safety and everything.
Okay.
So, if that kind of helps y'all.
I'd like to see a price on doing the whole county and a price for constitutional officer
Yeah.
separated.
Now, let me ask you, when you invoice, do you invoice for maintenance and for the project cost too at the same, on the same invoice? Cause I could
Two
get,
different things.
okay, cause I'll get a hold of Wesley and find out kind of in a year's time what they spend and then use it.
I guarantee he's got 100%, he's got a spreadsheet on it all.
Okay,
He
yeah,
can
that'd
take you
help.
down- Yeah, he can take you down to the scene
Yeah.
of where, of what's being spent per department, for hardware, software,
Right, okay.
so
Okay.
that'll kind of give you all an idea of what it costs across the board.
Okay. That'd probably be the best thing then, do what?
One thing is bringing us up to where our computer system will do our job. We're on Windows 7 now, and our system does not work on Windows 7. It works on Windows 10 or 11. So our stuff, a lot of it, we have to Google some of the forms we get off the Google, because we can't get them on our system, because it's too outdated. And so we've got to get this, and Charles has already got computers set up for us that we can go ahead and put in immediately if we have the system set up for
Okay.
them. And it's something that definitely needed, because Mel can tell you her system, hers is completely outdated, and some of the computers are 7 or 8 years or 10 years old, and they're Windows 7, and we can get by. And we need the new system where we can do our job efficiently.
And the retention period is another big thing for y'all guys, that you need to look into, because not having that data can cause issues majorly.
Okay. I guess just put it together and let us look at it, you know?
Yeah.
And, maybe we do that, can't we, Scott? Put
Yes,
it
sir.
on the agenda next.
Yep.
meeting.
All right, that's what we need to get everything where we can have something we can go to.
Okay.
He just needs access to all the information with the county so that he can get all the stuff, find out what's in place, so that he'll know how to get the things done that he needs. The type of equipment he's gonna need and anything like that. A lot of the equipment that is here can be utilized at the time, for the time being, until the new stuff can be phased in. And that can be over several years probably on some of it.
Well,
He
we
can
can-
tell you more about that.
Yeah, if we're doing a complete rebuild though, it's, if we decide to move forward and go do a rebuild, it'd be a parallel upgrade. You know, that's something that we've done in the past. We put all the new equipment in and then we do what we call hot cutting. So we cut everything over to the new infrastructure. And that way we can phase the old out. And we've already started that. We've already put a lot of background work in. We've already got the .gov in place. Scott done that, 6 months ago?
Yeah, it was about 6 months.
6 months ago. So we've got that, we've already built we've got a baseline set of servers already built, to be able to do this. We've already got a list of users imported in. So there's a lot of background work that's already been done.
Okay.
We just gotta finish it.
All right. Okay, all right, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any more guests? Anything else need to come up? If not, we'll go on to the sealed bid and surplus for Ware County property. We have one bid on that thing. Scott just gave it to me and I got it. Let me see what it is. We have a check in amount of $4,140. That must be 10%. Okay, please accept the formal bid of property advertised and sale of the previous Ware County Planning and Code Building located in front of the Ware County Courthouse. The parking lot located behind the building is not included in the sale. The bid is $82,800. Enclosed is a check for 5% of the bid, $4,140. I'll carry it over to the commission meeting. Fine. Okay. It'll be the resolution of the 2022-04 restatement of Ware County's defined contribution plan. And, we have somebody that is on the employee stuff.
Yes, sir. I think Christine's, there she is, yeah. Can you, yes, if you don't mind,
Would you
please,
come up
ma'am?
to my-
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm Christine Swanson with ACCG Retirement. Every 5 to 7 years, we have to do a restatement of all of our 401A plans to remain compliant with the IRS. So there's no change to the actual plan itself. With Ware County, it still functions the same. It's just basically housekeeping and updating it to be compliant with the IRS.
Okay. There was no changes in it whatsoever, so it's gonna be accepted like it is. And I believe it was last approved in 15.
Correct. And then one
Yeah,
before that was
I believe I saw where, that we just need to update it then.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's the resolution as well as the adoption agreement that's voted in the board.
Okay.
So ACCG needs the resolution and the agreement
And
signed.
the adoption agreement.
Okay.
please.
All right.
Other questions in particular?
Any questions? Steve? Good? Okay.
Very good. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Put that one on the meeting. Okay, C is ordinance division, driveway and encroachment control.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is proposed ordinance revision from some of the discussion that took place at our retreat. And engineering and public works got together and made some of the revisions to the existing ordinance, I think. Brandon, are you able to speak to this? Oh, there he is.
We put this together. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Come on up,
Basic
man.
idea was to try to relieve some of the pressure from public works. We
Yeah.
got supply concerns, being able to get pipe, as well as personnel issues. We had to hire employees. So this is a way for us to help public works with some of that burden from these driveway installations. I don't want to speak out of turn, so pretty much that's it.
The only one that Scott and I talked with him a little bit about that. If we let, it kind of be responsible for your own driveway if you want to put in a trailer or house or something, and you have it done by a contractor or someone. But I talked with him about that. It seemed like that we probably should have some kind of, not anybody put in the driveway, because I don't know if everybody, they'd probably try it. A lot of people try it, don't know what to do with it, and they might cut a cable or something, cost them a lot of money. So it probably would need to be some kind of restriction on maybe he needs to be maybe an occupational contractor or something that has some kind of license to do that work before he's told that he could put in a driveway. I feel like that. I don't know. What do y'all think about that?
Well, they need to know what they're doing.
Yeah, they need to know what
They
they're
gotta be able to shoot a
doing.
grade.
Sort of, if you read this in a way, it kind of leaves it open that he can put it in on his own Unless there is something I'm missing, huh?
No, so we do require that they give us.
Yeah, give you a call, but
So that we can have, county personnel, there
There.
to inspect the work and make sure it's put in, appropriately. What you're referring to would be something similar to a utility contractor's license.
well, sometimes, see, we go and put in a septic tank. Your name is on the list if you have a license. And then they'll say, well, who can I use? And you got to get the names, they give you like 10 names. You can call one of those names.
I know anytime we have anything that would be put in that would affect traffic, like a cross drain or something like that.
Right.
Some kind of a drainage project that would need to be put in, box culvert, we require
Right.
a utility contractor's license for anybody to bid on that kind of work. And that's just, shows that they have, experience in installing something similar
Yeah.
to a pipe, drainage pipe.
A lot of people ain't gonna have you, underground contractor's license, but you do have a lot of them with occupational license that can put in the driveway.
Would that be something you're talking about, like the, septic tank installers?
Yeah, like similar like that, he needs to be qualified a little bit, doesn't he? I mean, we
Yeah.
have a lot of,
And the permit would require Brandon to specify what has to be put in and then inspect it
Yeah.
before they clear it. I mean, I think having a list of contractors is a good idea, like health department does for septic tanks. An individual can put in their own septic tank, but they've gotta go, you gotta go qualify yourself
Right.
first.
Has to be inspected during the construction?
yeah.
then you
has
still
to be
gotta inspect it.
and everything.
I mean, I guess you can build your own house, but it's still gotta be inspected. So, I agree with the chairman about the list. I mean, that would be a service that you could have in the planning department. A list of, alphabetical list of
Jimbo probably
installers.
has those contractors listed.
We have a lot of dirt haulers and a lot of people that got one hoe and they do
That'd be simple to do.
small jobs, I
Yeah.
think they'd qualify for it,
Yeah,
most
that
anybody.
goes with the whole concept, you're right.
Yeah. And that's all I got on it.
We just really want to get something in front of y'all to
Yeah.
look at, to discuss, and
Right.
hopefully get something approved. So that we have some direction, because we're kind of in a state of limbo right now with, trying to get everything
Yeah.
ironed out with, the reg marching order, so we know exactly where we stand, and so we can tell the public when they come in and ask about the driveway permits.
Right, okay.
I'm 100% in agreement and ready to vote for it. What about it says the erosion control, encroachment control? Did we do the stormwater erosion that we've talked about? Is that in a separate?
It's not in this part, no, sir, that's
so no,
something separate.
okay.
If we're not disturbing an acre, I don't think we have to do under erosion, do we?
Something they had
Brandon.
come up with. Okay, but that's fine, I'm good.
Oh, yeah.
We were trying to streamline this,
I got you.
hoping to get something.
That other will be addressed at a different time.
Yes,
Separate,
sir,
yeah.
we would like to bite this elephant off in small pieces if we can.
Got you.
Okay.
Good.
All right, anybody else got anything on it? James, you got anything on it?
He did have a comment, he wanted to address on the fines, fees.
The only thing that I wanted to address was that we just, when you approve it tonight, you include a penalty in that motion, so that we can put that in the ordinance. Cause right now it says penalties and fines determined by the Board of Commissioners. Well, y'all need to set that so that if we have to write a citation for that, we carry it to the magistrate court judge, he has something to go by.
He's talking about section 1889, it's shown on the page.
Says all penalties and fines will be established and assessed by the Ware County Board of Commissioners.
Yeah, so, and y'all really just establish
1889.
the fines,
So you asking us to establish the fine along with this new
right,
policy?
just in that section, whatever it is, including the motion, and then they can just add that into work.
It's on page 4, section 1889, it's on the last page.
You actually establish the fine, but the judge will assess it.
Okay.
If y'all got a recommendation, Scott, to add to this, let's get all one time.
Did you mention a set amount or?
Most of the county ordinances, well, there's 3 that I know of, 4. The mobile home decal, which says shall not exceed $25, I think. The overgrown vegetation, maybe says, or one may say it shall not exceed 200. One says from 200 to 1,000, and one says from 300 to 1,000. There's different fee structures and fine amounts and different ones, so you just gotta, I mean, general rule of thumb, I think, is 200 to 1,000. So.
That would cover what you do.
So, and then the judge will assess what he wants, or find out, or you can say, you know, if you violate this ordinance, it shall be fined not less than $200.
Sound good?
Shall be fined $200 or something like that.
Leave it to the judge,
Okay.
no less than 200. This isn't on the same subject, but I know you and Scott have been, issuing a lot of citations for people cleaning up. Magistrate court has been, supportive of that, hasn't it?
They have, yeah, and they've been, so basically it's, if I've been out to give a warning, then they've been fining, establishing a fine for that. If it's one that I've written a ticket and the magistrate judge give a warning, say he said, all right, we'll get it cleaned up 30 days, then, you know, that one's not necessarily gotten fined, they got it cleaned up, but yeah, they've been fining, so I've written several since I've been back.
Thank you. I didn't mean to change the subject, Mr. Chairman.
James, while you up here, I was noticing going down Blackshear Avenue the other day, people living in a trailer piled all kind of stuff right next to the highway. Something needs to be done about that. I mean, if you drive by one of those places and see old mattresses and couches sitting in a person's yard right next to the highway, they must think they live in the city.
Right, we need to put an article in the paper.
We need to do something.
And try to prevent some of that. There is some discrepancy in that because if it's a move out, so it's eviction to the magistrate judge, to the magistrate court, in a writ or whatever, the law says that the owner shall set beside the road.
But it's up to the owner to clean the mess up though when it's all said and done.
So when it's all said and done, the owner has to come back, so we have to just monitor to see what it is. But I think they've changed that law a little bit, where basically the owner can set it on the side of the road. As long as he sets it down, then he can pick it back up, or not him, a hired worker can pick it back up, put it on a trailer and haul it off. So, and that's what a lot of us do. In most cases now, your landlords, just have it done. So, but, yeah.
Maybe we need to come up with some little stickers or something other where you can say, if you see that, you can put a little notice on their door, say, look here, you don't live in the city of Waco, so they're not gonna come pick it up.
Right, yeah. And we're gonna hire, we're looking now, the new building inspector starts April 11th. So, that'll free me up again, because we don't have a building inspector now but me. And then also, I'm going through applications, I pulled some, and hopefully out of some that I pulled, we'll be hiring another code enforcement officer as well. So, help out with that.
Okay, thank you.
Do we need 10 days prior to that, going to work on that thing? You see where
To
you
get a
got
permit, a minimum of 10
prior to
days?
beginning any work from the application, is that?
That's,
Seems like a long time, but
that's up to.
I know you got, you got to see everybody, I mean, I can understand you need
Give
something.
time to go out there and measure, do the study they need to do to calculate what they need as far as pipe size.
Okay.
So, generally speaking, I think what's gonna happen in a lot of cases is that we'll probably, try to address this at the start of a building permit.
Yeah.
And that way, there's time to get it.
How many of these would you guess we're gonna have, in average year?
Last year, we had 31.
30.
For a physical year.
31 new
31 driveways.
driveways. Okay. All right, thank you, Jane. We'll put it over on the, anybody else on it? Okay, carry it over to the, regular meeting. All right, D, the Recreation Department beverage supplier agreement with Coca-Cola Bottling Company.
Mr. Chairman, this
Okay.
is this is just the contract that we would need to get approved. Those bids came in December, and Coca-Cola was awarded, and this contract is formalities just to be approved. The county attorney has looked at it.
Okay. Anybody got anything on it? Not. Okay, let's carry it over to vote. All right, E, RFP award, Recreation Department Athletic Field Maintenance.
And this is, we advertised for bids and received 3 bids on the athletic field maintenance for herbicide, insecticide, and fertilization on a routine schedule. And there's, out of the 3 bids, Southeastern Lawn Pro was the lowest bidder at $15,536.
Okay.
This is the same company that does our lawn maintenance for our buildings.
Right. Okay. All right.
You got them under control now, for a long time, they weren't cutting grass, doing anything.
That was previous company, and that's one, yeah.
This is a different company from that company.
Yes, sir.
believe me.
Okay.
Okay. Y'all got anything on it? Any discussion on it? Y'all?
I don't.
All right, let's carry it over to the, all right. A change order on the Smith Road paving project, additional dirt street paving. What this is we want to add some streets to be paved as is, and with, I think we discussed them. We got a price from Littlefield. Let's see which one got it. Yeah.
I know we discussed this at our tree. Are any of these roads on the T-Splosh referendum that was voted on?
Brandon, do you know if some of them are on
Some of them are, I
on
believe.
the bottom?
saw
I think
some
they're
of
toward the
were.
bottom.
These probably some
Off
of
the top of my head, I don't really. I know that some of them are. I believe.
Yeah.
Or they all may be. Yeah, we created a whole master list of roads and then put them in need order, impact order, those kind of things. And I think that there was quite a few of them that were at the end where we ran out of money as far as budgeting was concerned.
That's what I thought I remembered.
Yeah.
This is a big chunk, $700,000.
Michael, would you please come up? I'd like to ask you something about, I know you do a lot of maintenance on these roads. Is these roads right here probably some of your most called roads?
It just depends on weather.
The weather, if the weather measures, these are probably the first ones that calls after a rain.
Well, like I say, it all depends on where the weather hits in the county. I mean, but yes, sir, those are some of them.
Right. I know we got more.
We got them all over, but,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I probably got more calls on these roads than anything I've been in the last year. I've had calls on every one of these right here. But, and I just wanted to ask you if you'd had calls like that.
We track every call that comes in the office, so we can pull those records.
Did you talk to them? Do other change order about?
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Where would the change order funds come from?
The only funds we would have available is the regional T-Splosh. And that's, I mean, from a budgetary standpoint, because the regional, we really don't have a set budget for those funds. Because with the loss of SPLOST and the single county being somewhat allocated to various projects, then we left the regional open for things that come along that we never planned on. So it's more of a, kind of use it as a true discretionary fund, because that's the way those are. You know, they're called discretionary funds in the regional T-SPLOST law, but we use it as a real discretionary fund because we don't have them set. Right now, there's roughly about, I think about 3 million in there now.
That's actually, it's a lot of mileage of pavement for the amount of money considered some of the other projects. We're getting a pretty good bit of pavement, probably about 5 miles.
The only other problem, the one the county attorney reminded me of, is typically those change orders don't usually go over 25% of the set contract. So, you know,
Seems like it gets into what should be bid out again if you get too far on a change order. That's been my experience in the past.
Absolutely. And also the bond itself would not cover the amount of work that's done.
Right.
So there's kind of a dual concern with any sort of large change order. And I think this one is pretty significant percentage wise.
Okay. Any more on it? Anything else?
Well, one thing about that, you were talking about cost per mile.
Yeah.
This is, the contractor was, letting me know, this only includes, hauling in enough material to sweeten up for the soil cement. This is not a mass grading price. So, a normal project that includes mass grading, pulling of ditches, replacing of all the side drains, and establishing drainage, it's not covered by this. This is just as, paving what's there. So that's a completely different outlook to a project. Normally when we go in there, the idea is to try to get as much drainage as you can for the life of the pavement. And most of the times we're in there paving in areas where drainage is a problem due to outfall ditches, flat terrain, lowlands, low-lying areas, which is, the majority of the county. So that's not going to be addressed with this. So if we wanted to do something like that, we'll have to, I think he mentioned if there's any areas that need some material, establishing a price per load of trying to do some infill with filling in some sags that are out there. We don't have a good idea of any of that. That would probably be the first step if y'all decided y'all wanted to try to pursue some of these projects, to go out there and do some surveying and get a better idea of exactly what's there and where the outfall locations are, and what field material may be required to try to quantify that, because I know you probably need to be.
This grading per mile, I know that's a unit price. I didn't see what it includes. I hadn't looked at this contract, but is
It's
it
kind of minimal, that's more or
including-
less just shaping what's there,
not hauling any dirt?
not hauling in a bunch of fill or anything like that. And this price was kind of a rough idea without getting in there and doing a whole bunch of surveying
Right.
and stuff to try to find out what your centerline grade is and where there may be some sags that need to be filled in, to really establish a good grade on the road. When they're out there over time, you'll see on a lot of these roads where it's, you have a good bit of grade coming up to driveways and things like that, and all that would need to be, try to smooth that out somewhat and establish
Yeah,
a
he'll.
grade for the center line of the road.
Yeah, they do a good job on it though when they do one. They did something like that.
Yeah, that Griffin Road.
Griffin
is one that
Road.
you mentioned.
There's a mile or so of that been done.
It's done by similar format, yes, sir.
Man, that beats running through them mud holes.
That's just something that would have to be discussed, gotten into a little bit further,
Okay.
if we decide we want to approach this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. Any more on it?
As far as the funding part, I'd hate to see us spend say $800,000 out of our discretion money, and something big come up that we needed some money. You
Yeah.
know, it's gonna be hard, I think, for the next 4 or 5 years. We need to be conservative for what money we've got.
Okay.
Do any of these tie in, or do any of these roads in the same area as Smith Road? I think Smith Road, Elmer Thrift Road, that can be tied into this project? And I wouldn't be opposed to taking one street as a test project and see how we can do it, see if we can come up with something that costs less.
Yeah, I was thinking, with,
Yeah.
attorneys, emphasis on the contract amount or the change order amount,
Right.
probably pick off one of those and do that as a proof of concept type of deal where we see how well it works out. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be opposed to a test project, Mr. Chairman. Just
Okay.
See how it works.
Maybe the Wadley Road or either the,
Probably slash
no,
Moon
no,
Road.
what about that?
That,
The Solomon
Solomon Street.
Street,
and,
yeah, Solomon Street, that's one that probably out
We've
there.
got 50 feet of right of way on that, and we've got 60 feet of right of way on, 6. So that's
Okay.
where we've already got enough right of way where we can.
We can do that. Now, Wadley Road is already about built though, ain't it? I mean, it's up, the grade on it probably in good shape.
Yes, sir, but then again, without going out there and taking a bunch of shots and seeing where you
Yeah,
check your profile, when you're laying a finish straight in there. The ride
Yeah.
is good though, like you say.
okay.
Which road would service the most residents?
Gibbs Lane.
Gibbs Lane.
Gibbs
Yeah.
Lane?
That'll serve most of it. That's over there in your
Look at
section.
that.
That's the one that they've been harping about the most, is Gibbs Lane.
I wouldn't be opposed to taking that. Just trying
That'd
as
be
an
a good
experiment. Would that be, Scott, is that?
Yeah, do you know what the right of way is on Gibbs? Gibbs is only
30 feet.
30 feet.
It's 30 feet.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You wanna try that one then? Just that one?
I would vote for it, just try it.
Okay, Gibbs Lane, let's see where it's at.
Is that still in my district or?
That's in, yeah, that's in your district.
I think it is.
Yeah, I'll vote.
And how about Solomon? We looking at two right there close together. We do both of those?
But aren't there a long road that goes back in there before you get to Solomon Street?
Well,
From
it's, it
Old
goes to the
Shop?
end of Washington and then it goes around there. There's a lot of houses at the end of it. And they have a worse time going through there.
Wish we had a map of that.
Yeah, it's at the end of the Old Shop Road. That's there at Newtown.
So would that be the 4th Avenue, Mr. Chairman?
4th and Solomon. I think they call that Solomon going out there, and then 4th goes right through there.
Okay, so
It
how-
does. Yes, you're
It's
right.
where the 400 Club is.
Okay, so that's called Solomon.
Solomon, no, 6. Ain't that right?
Where it comes off.
See, both of those are together, really.
Comes off of Washington, it's called Solomon, and then when it makes a turn, it's called 4th, and then when it makes the
Fourth.
other turn, it's called South.
Yeah.
Changes.
And that's from
Stops
that,
on the Old Shop Road.
that's from the end of that pavement that's there now?
That's on Washington, you have Solomon Street for a short stretch, then it comes 4th, then it comes South. I think it turns Solomon right there at the old,
See.
depot store, backside of shop, railroad shop. Turns Solomon Street there. And then when you make a hard turn, it turns into 4th, and then makes the turn again, then there's south.
Okay.
I know drainage is important. Do either of these two streets or just throwing away money without a big drainage project? Or
We definitely want to go out there and take a bunch of shots. There's a couple of outfalls that are already there. there's an outfall ditch that crosses Ford.
Yeah.
And, that would be the most natural place to try to send in the water. And with 50 feet of right of way, you would be able to do some ditching and hopefully replace any pipes that need to be replaced that are there. But none of that's included in that price.
Right.
So that would all be something that we'd have to, after you got into it a little bit deeper.
If it's got concrete pipe under though and everything good, it'd be good like it is. Won't it? Yeah.
Just needs to make sure it's, flushed out and
Yeah.
graded to daylight on both ends.
Okay.
Could y'all come back with just a short study to tell us what's there and what we'd be getting into? I mean, if you.
Do you know, is there a time period, Brandon, with this change order?
Because he was looking at early fall before we could do any of the paving
Oh,
on
okay.
Smith Road with the project that's going on out there now. So we have a little bit of time before they would be ready to do any soil seeding.
So you could look at it and come back with.
Yes, sir. That's something I wanted to have the director meet me out there with the contractor and talk about some of the drainage issues and where they probably do need to bring the road up elevation wise. Maybe we need some fill.
On which road?
All of them, particularly the
Gibbs and
Solomon, Fourth, South, Sixth area, because there's some, I think there's some pretty good complaints about the drainage out there. But I think there's places that we can direct our water.
yeah.
Yeah, these roads stay torn up because of problem drainage.
Yes, sir.
So, but I'm still in favor of a test project on whatever we come up with.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just one of the things, Mr. Chairman, and coming in, on the tail end of this, that, I talked with Scott earlier about was, I would like to see one of the roads that's, been done like that, and I know we talked about it a while back about, rather than doing all the fancy Miami curb and gut and all that, they're basically just getting something, because a lot of them, they in the mud, and as he alluded to in our conversation, that, if you don't do anything, then you're gonna continue to keep this cost of repair going on and on every time, so this is maybe not the Taj Mahal of paving, but it will get people out the mud and will, help the county out also, for that constant maintenance on these roads. And I agree with what Commissioner Pope said, that maybe we could do one as a test just to kind of see how it works out before we go too far into it, because and I would say maybe pick out one of the ones maybe kind of like the worst shape, that way we can really tell in.
Yeah,
Okay.
people know which way to head.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we can do that, and we'll
Table it.
y'all wanna pick out one between now and the meeting? Let's carry it over to the, meeting. Okay. Okay, G, appointment to the Ware County Division of Family and Children Services.
Yes, sir. They contacted us a while back, and they still needed an appointment from the Ware County Commission on a board member, and I didn't know if anybody, I put it out there just to see if y'all had any one of you all that want to serve.
Linda Booker called me Friday, and they wanted to appoint John Treat, former city commissioner. They were, like I said, well, as far as the county commission is concerned, you should find out if he's willing to serve.
Right.
For appointment. So they were supposed to let one of us know if he would accept it, or if anybody else has got some, but that was the contact she made with me. But I don't know if he is willing to accept it.
I think on the recreation board also, we're missing some members off of it too.
We are. I think there's like 3 that need to be reappointed. Not reappointed. I think the 3 don't care to be reappointed, so we'll have to find 3 new ones.
One needs to be geared back up.
Do we need to appoint one of the commission?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I was thinking of
Okay.
Commissioner.
Appoint
For what? For what?
the family and children, you know, leave them.
I think that needs to be from the outside.
Really?
Yeah, it can be, yes, sir.
And we need to talk to somebody, I guess.
Well, John Street, somebody gonna talk to him about it?
That's what she said.
Okay, why don't we just
Contact me this weekend.
postpone it until we can hear back from Miss Brooker if Street wants to do it or not?
Maybe postpone it till next meeting.
Okay, we can do
Okay.
that.
Now, that's for the,
For the
Sure.
family
Yeah,
children, sure.
Department of Family and
Family
Children
Children.
Services.
but I thought we were talking about something about the rec board appointees.
Well,
Well,
they need to-
those we will have to find, we'll have to find 3 new ones for that
Okay.
board.
But the board now has to bring us some names they want.
Correct, yes, sir.
Okay. We'll just carry that one over then. Leave it all. All right, we have any commissioner items?
I don't.
I don't have anything.
Mr. Chairman, I know we got a public here, but just in the short version on the, ordinance revision for the driveway encroachment control, what do we do on that?
We, well, we done talked about it on the, driveways. Yeah, we're gonna carry it over to the meeting.
Okay.
We'll vote on it.
Okay. That's all.
How about the, road striping? Brandon, where's that at now?
We're fixing to bid that out, Mr. Chairman. That, safety action plan, the additional element is going out to bid, last part of the month or first of next month.
Oh, I thought we'd already had that bid.
We have a striping job that's underway right now, but it's about, half that size for that. Safety action plan was about $200,000 worth of striping that the DOT, came to us about with a list of roads that were available. So we cross-populated our existing striping list that we had, scored on the striping with that DOT list. And, we're gonna put that out to bid. I think it just went into the paper last week, so we'll be bidding that out in about 30 days or so, which kind of correlates with when, hoping to beat them to the DOT projects that they'll be really gearing up for over the summer, and hopefully sneak that, SAP project in, late spring.
Are they free striping now? The job that they've been doing now in donut areas?
So they're still in the process of doing that.
Can we get Needham Road added to that?
Is Needham Road in that?
It's on the
limit?
SAP project, yes, sir.
It is?
Needham Road is on the SAP project.
The one that's being advertised now.
Oh, it's gonna be on the one that's being
That
advertised.
$200,000 project. with
I thought it was already bid.
Needham Road's on it, yes, sir.
Okay.
See, we actually applied last year, so that's probably what y'all are thinking about. It was approved. The application was submitted, Needham Road on there, but we're gonna get that bid out this year. A lot of striping and stuff's kinda like paving, they look for the better weather to try to do that with, as the temperature requirements and everything.
All right. How's the Jamestown Bridge coming?
They, came and did the borings on the Wing Clay side, and, everything looked really good, and our consultant got with the bridge designer and talked about the preliminary, bridge design. So I think everything looked good with the geotechnical report. So I think it's a full go, and I asked him to fast track that right of way acquisition, the plats and everything is gonna be needed for that, so we can try to hurry up and get that started.
Okay,
If we can.
all righty. Thank you, Brandon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman.
Anything else y'all want? That's it? All right. County manager, you got anything?
Yes, sir, just real quick, I was gonna mention, I think I already have sent a notice out to you, but, we sat in on the DOT meeting for the overpass. They have meetings, I think it's every other week or every week, every other week, I think, every 2 weeks on the overpass, and, all the different departments take part in that project management and project planning meeting, and many of the clearances have been checked off. So they're moving pretty good on it, moving pretty fast on getting all those done. So at this point, I think there was some things they needed to verify. Some of the things with the CSX right away, some conflicts that they saw that didn't, for whatever reason, didn't come out like they expected, and they're verifying those things. There'll be another update. That was last week. They'll have another one next week.
Okay,
So it's moving pretty fast. They're getting those things done and getting them put away.
that's great.
So.
All right, that's on the State Street.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And the only other thing I put a single sheet in front of you on a quote that we got for the rehabilitation of the pool over in Bailey Street.
Right.
And I just wanted to kind of let you know, right now, I don't know that we have any funds available to pay for this. And so this is an issue that we're gonna have to get some determination on if we want to move forward to have something like this done. But from my knowledge is they don't think it would pass inspection if we don't have it done. So we would have to bid it out because of the price.
Okay. If we don't do this work, we'd have to close it down then, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There's nothing over here that should prevent them from opening up.
Really? Okay.
The YMCA operates the pool on behalf of the county, correct?
Correct. Yep.
We only just had one quote on it, right?
Yes, sir. It was just to kind of give you an idea of what they were saying, but if
It needed done.
Commissioner Pope, being that he's done this for hunting dozen years, if he thinks it'd be fine, then we can just move forward with it.
So in other words, you saying this is something that doesn't need to really be done right now, based on your expertise?
Scott and I go look at it,
Yeah.
That's good.
and Brandon and I, since he's an engineer.
Good to have someone of your caliber to speak so eloquently.
I'm
on that.
expensive, but not to the county. I provide my service.
And we definitely don't want to do anything to hinder from that pool opening up at Bailey Street,
Right.
because it serves a great
Yeah.
purpose over there in that community.
Well
So,
used.
so we want to make sure we do everything we can to make sure it stays open, you know.
Yep.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, that's all. I hear a motion to adjourn.
Make motion.
So, second.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Go on 5 minutes, 10 minutes break.
Didn't take long to do this, had it?
Got a public hearing, don't we?
Yes, sir.
Let's go ahead and knock
We
it
got
out.
a public hearing,
Let's go ahead and do public hearing.
and go ahead with it. Where's it at? Let's see.
Should be right behind that table there.
Yes, the one handwritten, the tab is handwritten in.
Commission items.
Yeah.
See, I don't see it.
Public hearing.
Where's
Yeah, G. I mean, that's behind. She got it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, notice of public hearing, okay. Okay, we got a notice of a public hearing. That Ware County Commission will hold a public hearing on Monday, March 14th, 4:30 p.m.
All right, let's do it.
Okay? The applicant, property owner Pamela Smith, is requesting a private road to be named on her property located as
Mr. Chairman,
Pretty
hold
Eye
on.
Lane.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me, I think we're do we need a tape? We're getting some motion from the back room there, I couldn't tell. She might need 1 minute, I think, I apologize.
They might not have got us going back into the meeting, I guess. Do it. What's that pretty eye lane?
Pretty eye, pretty name,
You
man.
got a pretty eye. Pretty eye lane. Okay. Okay, so you got it, okay. Okay, this is,
Yeah, they want to, even do.
this is a summary of the applicant. Property owner Pamela Smith is requesting a private road to be named on her property located as Pretty Eye Lane. This name is not in conflict with any other existing name. Anybody got any discussion on that? Is anything, I mean, let's hear a motion on it. Make a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I think Mr. Moy stepped down a minute. I don't know if Mr. Schubert would like to give a 2-second overview.
Planning.
Who?
All right, Mr. Mitchell, there we
Who you
go.
want? Okay.
Let him give an overview, and then I don't believe there's probably anyone from the audience to speak to it, but we'll allow for, when he completes the overview, a time for anyone to speak for or against. We'll then close the public hearing, and the vote will actually occur at our regular meeting at 5.
Okay, okay, all right.
Appreciate y'all's time. Long story short of it, Ms. Smith, she's looking to have a private drive on her property be named as Pretty Eyes Lane. That's the name that she requested for it. This would be only on her property, so it's not affecting any other properties directly. And it's not in conflict with any other names in the county, so there shouldn't be any issues regarding that either.
What's the purpose of naming it a private lane? What's the purpose?
She's planning on placing another house, so she'll have 2 houses going to that same roadway or private drive, whatever you want to call it. That's the reason why.
So 911 needs for an address? 911 would need this lane name for an address for their records?
Okay, with that.
It'll make it easier to find.
Yes.
It's gonna sit back 500-600 feet.
Okay, with that.
And there's also a pre-existing house at the back of the property. They're going to run it, they're going to change the address to Pretty Eyes Lane for it. So, it'll be following in line with that, for 911 purposes as well.
Okay, that pretty much answered.
She'd be
one of the questions I
responsible
had.
for paying for the street sign and everything?
That's my understanding.
So, okay, like I said, that explains, I was wondering the rationale behind, if you got private property, you name it, but it would be based for 911 purposes. Because she could put a sign up there, but then you maybe take the chance of something happening and nobody knows really where you are.
I mean, the addresses and the roads, they'll be added into our GIS system. 911 will be given a copy of that as well, so it'll go into their system as well. If approved by the commission.
Okay, if it's gonna be well, it's a private road now, but you're gonna name it a street. So, I mean, a name of the road. That way, would it have to be deeded to the county?
No, it won't be a
don't?
county. It'd be
It
a
don't?
It's a
private
private,
road.
it's a
Just a
lane,
private
it's like
lane?
a driveway.
Just for 911 and
Yes.
mail or
It's just a private
something?
access road, basically,
Okay,
or they're naming a driveway, basically.
okay.
It'll be identified probably with a Blue Street sign.
Yep.
She'll have to purchase a Blue Street sign to put it up. That's how we've kind of determined now what roads are private and
Okay.
County.
Like my private driveway, Pope Lane has a blue sign on it.
Yeah. Okay,
Still can't get it paid.
okay.
Thank you.
All right, that was it.
Questions, or-
Huh?
Just ask again, any more questions?
I think we good.
Yeah. Okay,
On the meeting.
yeah, we'll carry it over to the meeting then. Okay. Any more on that? Nothing else? Don't let's adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, just so we'll have
We
it for
can-
the minutes, just an opportunity, I don't believe there's anybody here, but just an opportunity for anyone to speak for or against the
Okay.
request.
Is anybody here against it? Naming this lane? Is anybody for it? Got one for it. Okay,
Thank you.
That's
Just so
it.
we'll have the record for our minutes. Thank you.
all right.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we go in recess.
Okay, you make a motion to adjourn the public hearing. I have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing, meeting is adjourned. Now we. Call this meeting order. I'm gonna do a roll call. Mr. Burris,
Present.
Mr. Pope,
Present.
Mr. Lucas, Mr. Barnard,
Present.
Chairman here. We won't do a pledge of allegiance or approval, we done that. Guest speaker. Okay, approval of meeting minutes for January 2022. Work session, February 14th, public hearing, February 14th, regular meeting, and the call meeting, February 28th. Do I hear a motion to?
I make a motion, we approve the meeting minutes for January, February, excuse me, for February.
Second.
Okay, got a second, any discussion? Let's vote on it. Mr. Burson?
Aye.
Mr. Pope?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas? Mr. Barnard?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. Now, on the agenda item, sealed bid award for surplus Ware County property. We have a sealed bid from Coastal Exchange LLC, Waycross, Georgia. They got a bid in the amount of $82,800 for this property. And we have a check for 5% of the bid. I hear a motion that we accept this bid or whatever.
Chairman, I move we accept the bid. We bid it before. I just move we accept it as presented.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the bid. Do we have a second?
Second.
We got a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, as Commissioner Pope, alluded to, we've already had one round, this what we bid it at. So we haven't the second round, but it still falls, what is it, about $38,000 below the appraised value of the property.
Right.
And, which I know that's something that we want to try to go, get rid of it, but, I know the real estate right now is really on the upswing. It's really expensive, and I just want what's gonna be the best for the taxpayers and the best amount that we can get in there. I think it's the best amount, but then, I would maybe inclined to vote, to do it, but I would hope that we could get more for that building. I really do,
Well, at least we would get it put back on the tax digest anyway, start getting the tax money off of it.
Yeah, that's.
Maybe over the next 10 years, we can get back what the appraisal firms was on it.
Yeah.
I know one reason that the codes department moved out, there's a bad drainage problem. Every time it rains, the place floods. There's extensive amount of work has to be done on that, and apparently a number of people who would normally bid on it have not bid on it because of that. So I'm like Mr. Barnard to just get it off our rolls and get it on the tax rolls.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Let's bid on it. Mr. Burson,
I'm gonna have to vote no on that, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Pope, Mr. Barnard,
Aye.
chair vote aye. Okay. This is a resolution for the 2022-04 restatement of Ware County's defined contribution plan. Okay, we've done discussed that, and we're gonna leave it as it is.
Yes, sir. There was no changes, but we just have to, as part of the requirements, we have to have the resolution approved and sign the agreement and send it back up.
Okay. I hear a motion that we accept it as is or whatever.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Okay. A second.
Second.
All right. I have a motion and a second. Mr. Burris,
Aye.
Mr. Pope,
Aye.
Mr. Lucas, Mr. Barnard,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Okay. This is an ordinance revision, driveway and encroachment control. We discussed that, we've had a few discussions on it already with, I hear a motion that we accept it, or with any changes, whatever, or however we need to do it.
Chairman, I move we adopt the ordinance revision for the driveway and encroachment control, and the motion would include a, penalty for not following the procedures for driveway and
Okay.
control. And I think that management asked for a penalty of not less than $200 per incident. Was that correct?
That is correct, yes, sir.
Yeah. I hear a second on that.
Second.
Okay. Any more discussion on it? Okay, let's vote on it. Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas? Mr. Barnard?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. Recreation Department beverage supplier agreement with Coca-Cola Bottling Company. That's already been, I hear a motion that we accept it.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Okay. A second.
Second.
Any discussion on it? No, let's vote on it. Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Lucas? Mr. Barnard?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. All right, we got the RFP award, Recreation Department athletic field maintenance. We had the bids on that thing. Y'all, I hear a motion that we accept the low bid.
I think, Mr. Chairman, that it's been determined during the break that the low bidder does not meet the bid qualifications.
Yeah, from what we've been able to find out, two of the references was for spraying, and the third one was not. So as far as the qualification, I mean the requirements, he wouldn't meet the requirements for the references.
Okay. Then
The
we
next
go
the
to
next
Story.
bid the next bid up is I think about $5,000 more, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
Roughly about 20.
Did they meet the qualifications?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Scott, you were saying just that they didn't meet two of the qualifications on there, how did you say?
Needed to supply at least 3 references, and this would be for spraying, and there was 2 out of 3 that he had.
He only
For the
had
low
2,
bidder. The low bidder only had 2 out of 3.
and they understood that they had to have 3.
Yes.
This would be spraying large areas, athletic fields, that kind of thing. And it's not somebody's front yard.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to, a lot of responsibility on that right there. They,
I don't see where the second one meets that. Does a lot of work.
the second one don't.
Yeah. Because I think the first two are spraying, this is the second bid. The first two, I believe, are spraying, and the last three are lawn maintenance.
The language says specifically spraying, it didn't say.
Maybe we need to rebid this thing and clarify some of our stuff that we want to have done.
We can verify that and put it on the next meeting if you wanna do that.
Let's do this table.
Well, let's table it then and let them clarify that if
Yes,
both of them.
we can do that.
Yeah, that's why I wondered, did they really understand that they had to have,
Yeah.
you know, three?
Too big a price difference.
Right. And then plus the second one you say didn't have, didn't meet the qualification either for the free reference.
Yeah, I was looking at this, I was looking at a different reference sheet for the one that was second.
The third
Is
one
the
meets
third
the
one?
qualifications.
Does he meet it?
I know the third one does.
Yeah.
That's Coastal Sports Turf. And I believe that's primarily what they do, or is it maintenance too?
That's that's what they do.
Yeah.
They don't do front yards.
So how long has it been since we've had our recreation department sprayed
I
out there?
don't know, Lance, it's been what, a couple of years maybe, or has it been 3 years? That's right. That's
Why
what I
hasn't
thought.
it been done every year?
Well, last year we really didn't have the programs, and before we had that transition, and before we had I think it was like 30-something, 34, 35,000 at the time, and it wasn't in the budget.
If you got the budget, take care of
Third
that.
guy,
Yes, sir.
he qualified.
Lance, y'all don't have the equipment to spray out there?
Yes, we make it.
Y'all do have equipment to spray it? So why couldn't they spray it?
Is any of that equipment still working? Do you know, Mike?
It hadn't
Yeah.
been functioning since 2019.
Okay. Yeah.
So, of course, it goes along with the irrigation system we had since 2019.
Why don't we table this and let him check out the equipment?
Okay.
I mean, they've always done it in the past.
Well, that's what I was about to say, has that been one of the functions of the rec department to do their own spraying out there?
Yeah.
It has in the past, yes, sir.
It has?
I believe I think even before I got here, I think they did it in the past.
Okay,
Some
so-
of them have a license to do it.
Right.
They do.
Well, that was my next question, because I noticed on here, you know, you got to have this herbicide license and all that, so,
Yeah.
I guess when you do it, is that like part of the job description for someone that's working, or if someone is working there, do they have to have
You
that
have to have
license?
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Do
have
we
to
have
have a
anybody out there that has a
I
license? to
don't
do
know
that?
that they do anymore. I'm not sure.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It is.
Alright.
Yes, we currently have someone licensed out.
Someone to do it.
Out on spray.
So, and in what we bid this out before? You said in 2019?
19.
So why
Was
did
the
we
last
bid it out
time?
then?
I'm sorry?
Why was it bidded out then in 2019?
Yeah, what?
That I don't remember, to be honest with you.
I mean, if
don't
they
remember.
say
Yeah.
they had someone on staff and all that, so
Yeah.
why did we, I'm just trying to find, must have been
Yeah.
a reason why.
2019, at that point, we did not have anyone.
Okay, you did not,
Yeah.
okay, with the answer.
Yeah.
So if someone out there, I guess is on staff, and we have the equipment, then we still got to buy the herbicide, right? Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
how
you still
that's
got to
pretty
purchase it.
expensive.
We
Yeah.
buy all the equipment and everything, they can do it out there, cause you got a license. Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you, man.
Okay, that's all, thank you. All right.
What the motion is,
What y'all wanna
table
do on it?
it till.
Just table it, and let him check out the equipment that he's got out there.
Okay. We just table it then.
One other question, how often does this have to be done?
It should be doing it every year.
I mean, just once a year,
Times
though?
a year,
Yes,
a
sir.
couple times a
Yeah,
year.
but it should do it throughout. Yeah.
There's a schedule submitted with one of those, and they start in February. And they'll do initial application, have fertilizer, and pre-emerge, and then later on they'll do the post-emerge. So it's an ongoing process, almost a 12-month, year-round type of schedule.
Okay. We're gonna just table it, Mayor, okay? Vote on, all right, F, the private road naming, Pretty Eye Lane.
I make a motion, we accept,
Yeah.
this private road naming.
Okay,
I'll second it.
got a second. Any discussion? Okay, anybody for or against? Any? Okay, let's vote on it. Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Mr. Lucas? Mr. Barnum?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. Okay, we got that. We're not gonna do one of the roads in. You left it off of the.
Was that it depends on which one I
Smith
think we were
Road,
gonna
the
go
change
with.
order thing.
Yeah, we still need to check that out, don't we?
Do you
Brandon?
need to, we're gonna try one or just not?
You was wanting us to do some preliminary survey on it first, Scott?
Well,
Yeah, find out. I think that's the,
We
No.
talked during the break, and we talked about doing Gibbs Lane.
Just go ahead and do Gibbs Lane.
Plan on
Oh,
doing
okay.
Gibbs Lane with whatever you need to do.
Okay.
This is a test run. We're gonna
okay.
see what it looks like. And we do need to look into the drainage. I know there's a ditch across that road. And,
Yes, sir.
I don't know what that pipe is. We need to look at that, make sure, they have to increase it or something. Now, could the county do that? I mean, could we put that cross drain in? I mean, I don't see why we couldn't do that.
Yes, sir.
Could we? Michael, you think we could put that cross drain in? Yeah. Okay, if it needs increasing or something.
It's a metal pipe there now, it's like a 24-inch metal pipe.
Okay,
We could change it out, but, I mean, I wasn't gonna pave over it, let's just change it out, the concrete there be done with.
yeah, I think probably ought to increase it, maybe a 36 or something. It's a little bit, okay.
So Gibbs Lane, do we have a lot of homes on that street?
There's not that many houses on it, but it's a cut through, really. It's
A lot of traffic.
a lot of traffic on it. Since they closed Haynes grocery store down, now everybody jumps over to Aiden's and they take that little dirt road right through there.
Okay, the reason I was asking, because I was looking at, I didn't know what criteria we were gonna use for this test one, but the 6th Avenue is, estimate 38,000.
Yeah.
Is that, so I'm just trying to find out, if we're gonna do a test one, what would be?
I would like to do
advisable.
both of those, the other one too, out on. See, 6 and that go together, really.
Well, that's
Get
like
back to that.
38 on that one, the estimated, but, so if we're gonna just do a test, there's a lot of homes on that street, anyone know?
Which one?
6th Avenue.
Give me a minute.
Mike knows off the top of his head.
Huh?
There's 8 houses.
8 houses on that street
And 9 on Gibbs.
and 9 on Gibbs.
What about south?
Okay.
But then the,
I was counting south as well.
What kind of distance are they from the old, depot to
Solid.
where start, like Sixth Avenue? You got Old Shop Road, Solomon.
Yeah.
You
Solomon.
got about a
About a
mile,
mile.
about a mile before you get to Solomon Street, ain't it?
Yes, sir. About
Before
a
you get
mile
to
from
see
the pavement on Washington to the old shop road. That would be the, Solomon Ford, South Avenue. Right
Yeah.
a mile. And then 6.
And 6.
0.22 mile.
Them, both of those need to go together there, don't they? I mean, really, 'cause you go down Solomon and then you turn on 6, so that's what get all the birth bill right there.
okay, but that's 6, I'm just saying, you know, for the cost, the 38
Yeah.
estimated cost, if we're gonna just be doing a test one, that would be like, don't need to get one that's gonna be the most expensive to do the test on.
But you'd have to pave the highway going down there to it.
Going down there too, 'cause 6
Okay,
would be
because-
down at the end.
Okay, so, okay, I got you now.
Yeah, you'd have to pay Solomon to get to
Okay,
6.
I got you,
Yeah.
okay. So really, like I said, that Gibbs Street is the next lower one, which was 76.
Yeah,
But you say it's not a lot of traffic, it's just more or less like a bypass.
all right, yeah, it's
Southern bypass.
That's about what it is, Southern Bypass.
it is. That thing's busy now.
And that's Slash Pine Road, and where that, from, Smith Road to Elmer Thrift Road.
Yeah, it's, there's a lot of traffic on that road.
I think either one of those, you know, I mean, like say for the test, being the other one, you would have to.
Wanna do both of those?
Well, just
Could
one,
we,
say
can we
just
do
one.
both of them, Scott?
Sir, I'm
Can we
sorry.
do both of those, Slash and Gibbs Lane?
You could. I don't know what the amounts were right in front of me.
Let's
As long as
see,
we stay within that 25%.
69,965 Splash Pine Road, 4/10 of a mile from Smith Road to Elmer Thrift Road.
Yeah. Do Slash Pine and, Gibbs Street.
Be about
Yes.
147,000.
Yeah.
Can we do a change order on that?
Yeah, because 25% of that total would have been about 300,000 for the total of the Smith Road contract.
We'd be in
So
order with that.
you'd be half of that amount roughly.
I think we just need to stick with Gibbs Street for right now. If it works out good, then start hitting them others.
Yeah, just,
Now, keep in mind, like he said, it'll be fall before they're able to get out there and do that.
Do them, yeah. It don't go down,
All
you'll,
that soil cement, you know, and all, everything at the same time, and run the paving at the same time and all, so they'll be working on Smith Road and trying to get it ready between now and say
Right.
August or September.
but while he's out there, he'd like to do them probably when he's right there, he'd like to have them, cause he ain't gonna move back. That's a lot of equipment to move back to.
Yes,
Slash Pine right there at it.
so that Slash Pine would be right there in close proximity to the
Right.
Smith Road.
If we could, let's do, Gibbs Lane and Slash Pine. I hear a motion. What do y'all want to do? One of them or both of them?
Well, I think if we just gonna do one as a spearmint and they already right there by the Slash Pine, would it be better just gonna do that, you think? Or Brandon?
yeah, that'd be whatever y'all desire, whichever, I mean, whatever makes the most sense to y'all.
You say-
Whatever direction you wanna go, I mean, it's like Chairman said, I mean, that'd be fine with Mr. Dave. He said when he gave these prices, you could be one or all, you know, we can break it up, however y'all want to do it.
Oh, so that doesn't have effect on it about having to move the
No, each
equipment
one
in?
of those are standalone prices, so if you wanted to pick one, like you're saying, whichever one you wanted to pick, that would be fine with me. You can pull them out, so in other words, you can pull that off the list and just do one, or, you know,
So-
two, three, or whatever y'all desire.
Gibbs Lane probably is.
So like I said, if you do Gibb Lane 76, that's pretty much, and, that would be the, basically like the guinea pig breed, I guess, for lack of a better term. for-
Yes, sir, and, you know, we would have some other additional work, you know, associated with that, which we try to, I think we're gonna try to take care of some of that with public workforce.
I would think, like I said, Gibb Lane, then, and that would, I would kinda use that as a test case.
Okay. I hear a motion that we accept Gibbs Lane change order for Bluefield.
Make a motion.
I second it.
Okay, I got a motion and a second, any discussion? If not, let's, vote on it. Mr. Burris?
Aye.
Mr. Pope? Lucas? Mr. Barnes? Chair votes aye. Okay. We got a county manager's report,
I don't have anything, Mr. Chairman.
commissioner's comment.
I don't.
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything.
Okay, I hear a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.